And as if the war in Europe was not enough, Pakistan and North Korea are also fighting. Not over territory or security threats, but over alcohol. I'm not making this up. Something that's said to be off limits in Pakistan, that's alcohol. Earlier this week, the North Korean embassy in Islamabad was raided. Police entered the premises and harassed embassy officials. Why did they do that? Because they suspected that the embassy was hiding a large stash of illegal liquor. They did not find any, though. Our next report tells you what happened next.
North Korea and Pakistan, two belligerent nations that are miles apart, yet oddly similar. They're both terror states, both possess nuclear weapons, and they both can't stand their neighbors. The list of commonalities is endless. Now differences too have emerged, courtesy a police raid in Islamabad. On the 7th of March, the Pakistan police raided the North Korean embassy in Islamabad. Several armed officers entered the embassy building. They harassed North Korean officials and searched the premises at gunpoint. What were these cops looking for? A stash of alcohol. They had apparently received inputs that North Korean officials were hiding a large quantity of liquor in the embassy. Turns out they weren't. The cops had received the wrong tip. The Interior Minister of Pakistan has apologized. He says the entire fiasco was a misunderstanding. But the North Korean side is far from convinced. It wants Pakistan to punish the cops who stormed the embassy. In a letter to Pakistan's Foreign Office, they've stated the mission's staff reminded cops that the premises of the embassy are sovereign territory of DPRK and asked them to immediately stop this brutal act. But the police ignored the request, searched the storerooms, and threatened the staff with guns. We demand action under the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. It's a big diplomatic embarrassment for Pakistan, and not the first one at it. In May 2017, 10 armed officials from Pakistan's tax department broke into the home of a North Korean diplomat and assaulted his wife and staff. The pretext for the raid was the same, a hidden stash of liquor. The same year, in November 2017, 3 police officers disguised themselves as thieves, entered the home of a North Korean diplomat and plundered his trove of liquor bottles. Why? Authorities said they planned to sell it in the black market. That's not all. A year before that, in 2016, another North Korean diplomat was apprehended while trying to bring 855 boxes of duty-free liquor into Pakistan. In May 2015, yet another diplomat, a third secretary at the North Korean consulate, was apprehended while carrying liquor that exceeded quotas. Besides this, there have been 10 other cases of illegal liquor trade involving North Korean officials and Pakistani cops. What explains these repeated violations? The fact that these diplomats are underpaid and alcohol is mostly off limits in Pakistan. So these diplomats use their immunity for bootlegging alcohol in Pakistan. Also make up for inadequate government funding, and Pakistan's rogue cops try to sabotage their operations to make some quick buck themselves. Seems to be an addictive cycle. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.